Welcome to MotoGP in 9 minutes. Here is what you need to know today. The Mugello race delivered one of those rare moments that reminds you why MotoGP matters. At the heart of it all was a sustained battle between Pedro Acosta and Marc Marquez that lasted nearly the entire distance. Two Spanish riders, completely different machinery, different physical conditions, but the same fierce competitive fire. Acosta finished 6th, just ahead of Marquez in 7th. But the actual finishing positions tell you almost nothing about what really happened out there. These two went wheel to wheel for lap after lap, with Acosta probing for gaps and Marquez defending with that trademark brilliance we have come to expect from a 9-time world champion. What makes this battle genuinely significant is not just that it happened, but what Acosta learned from it and what he said afterwards. This was a masterclass in competitive sport playing out in real time. Acosta is only in his 3rd season in MotoGP, still finding his feet at this level. Yet here he was holding his own against perhaps the most tactically gifted racer in the entire history of this sport. The KTM he rides on does not naturally suit Mugello. That circuit demands things from a motorcycle that the KTM bike simply does not provide as easily as a Ducati or an Aprilia might. So the fact that Acosta came away with a decent result while staying engaged in a genuine fight for multiple laps tells you something important about his development as a rider. He is learning fast. He is not intimidated. He is hungry to understand how the best in the world go about their business, and he is willing to do that learning in the heat of genuine competition. Moving on to what Acosta said after the race, because this is where the story really gets interesting. Rather than just celebrate a solid finish, he went deeper. He told the media that being able to stay behind Marquez for an extended period gave him a real window into how a champion of that caliber manages a Grand Prix. The guy does not give up. That was the line that stuck, delivered with genuine respect and admiration. Acosta was not being polite or diplomatic. He was offering a straight observation from someone who spent most of a race observing a legend operate under pressure and physical limitation. And here is what makes this more fascinating than any result sheet could be. Acosta was actively studying Marquez throughout the battle. He was watching his tire management, watching how he positioned the bike into corners, watching how he responded to pressure. This is not casual observation. This is a young competitor using a real race situation as a learning laboratory. At 22 years old, Acosta demonstrated something that many riders never develop, and that is the ability to compete fiercely while simultaneously learning from the person he is competing against. That level of self-awareness and tactical intelligence is exactly what separates riders who will eventually become champions from those who will not. He did not pretend he has all the answers. He openly acknowledged that tire management is an area where both he and the KTM have considerable work to do. That kind of honesty about weaknesses is the foundation of genuine improvement. Next up, let us talk about what this performance means for Acosta's development curve. He is a KTM rider on a bike that frankly has not been delivering the kind of performance the team wanted in 2026. Mugello should have been difficult terrain for him. The circuit is fast, demanding, brutal on tires, and the KTM does not have the natural advantages that some other manufacturers can lean on. Yet Acosta not only competed, he stayed in the fight. He stayed sharp. He stayed focused. And most importantly, he gathered information that will go directly back into his team's development program. When engineers look at the data from this race, they will be able to see where Marquez was managing the tire differently, where he was braking differently, where he was building speed through the corner differently. That is not abstract information. That is real race data against a proven world champion. KTM is in a rebuilding phase right now, and performances like this one, even if they do not result in a podium finish, actually matter because they come with real learning attached. The development direction the team takes over the coming months will be influenced by what Acosta observed and reported during this race. This is how modern top-level racing works. Every single session, every single lap, every single overtaking attempt feeds information back into the engineers and the team strategists. Acosta understood this instinctively, which again speaks to his maturity as a racer. Switching gears to Marc Marquez himself. His physical situation is still not ideal. The screw in his shoulder has been corrected, but his shoulder muscles still need more weeks to recover full strength. He openly admitted this before Mugello. Yet what did he do? He showed up. He raced. He held position in the top 4 for most of the race. He stayed engaged with Acosta in a real battle despite not being at full fitness. Then he gave his own performance a 10 out of 10, not because of the 7th place finish, but because of how he managed to race at that level despite physical limitations. This is the mindset that separates Marquez from almost everyone else on the grid. He does not look for excuses. He does not wait for perfect conditions. He delivers within whatever constraints exist. And crucially, he does it without ever appearing to give up or back down. For a young rider like Acosta to witness this up close, to understand that championship mentality is not just about raw speed, but about mental resilience and refusal to accept defeat, that has real value. That is the lesson that cannot be taught in a classroom or a simulator. It can only be learned by racing alongside someone who embodies it. Marquez has been through countless races in countless conditions over nearly 2 decades at the top of MotoGP. He knows how to manage discomfort. He knows how to preserve energy for the moments that matter. He knows how to make tactical decisions in real time. All of that was on display at Mugello, even if 7th place does not look like a typical Marquez result. Now let us talk about what this means for the bigger picture of MotoGP in 2026. Acosta himself made a pointed observation after the race. He said the sport needs more races like this one. More genuine wheel-to-wheel battles. More competition where fans can see riders actually fighting for position rather than managing gaps or controlling pace from the front. And he is absolutely right. The Acosta versus Marquez duel was compelling because it was real, because it was hard, because neither rider backed down. That is what makes MotoGP worth watching. That is what gets under your skin. Not just seeing the fastest guy on the fastest bike win, but seeing 2 riders from different generations, on different machinery, in different physical conditions, still bringing that same fierce competitive instinct and absolute refusal to accept defeat. From a championship perspective, neither rider particularly benefited from Mugello in terms of points relative to their position in the standings, but both riders gained something arguably more valuable. Acosta got a real education in how to manage a race at the highest level. Marquez got a reminder that even when things are not perfect, he can still be competitive. The season is long. There will be many more races. The circuit characteristics suit different riders at different times. But races like Mugello are the ones that stick with people because they show something pure about what MotoGP really is. On to the final story, and that is the bigger implications for how this championship might develop. Acosta is still very young, still learning, but performances like Mugello show he has the foundations to become a genuine frontrunner. He is not going to panic. He is not going to make excuses. He is going to study the best, learn from them, and steadily improve. In 3 years' time, he could absolutely be in a title fight. Marquez remains the benchmark, the standard against which everyone else is measured.